Hello, y'all. If you're new here, I'm Ease, and we are getting into linocuts and printmaking. So today I made the decision while working on a couple of paintings, just some things that I kind of left unfinished. I was remembering that I went to a Juneteenth celebration and I saw one of the vendors had linocut prints and they were just absolutely beautiful, and they did them on like different types of paper and like all of this, and it just kind of like reintroduced that spark for me. I remember sitting watching like Project Runway with my mom, doing linocuts on the couch, catching all of the these little bits with my blanket, 111, as a little kid. Peeling a pomegranate and just sitting there, right? That was like our fall kind of thing. And she made a bunch of different linocut prints. And I'm moving more into this like abstraction-esque era, which has really been allowing me to add my movement into my work. And so we have some tests that I did today, trying to find ways to make that work. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple paintings that I was working on just as like a preface. This is one that I finished recently, that has a little bit more like actual imagery in the middle, but you can see as I block it, it is more abstract and very feeling based. And like, I kid you not all of the time, but like these are very purposeful little dots that I'm doing. Some of them were a little bit more like dry brush technique, but I'm leaning more into, this is actually like one of the most vibrant and also one of the most simple ones that I've done. I was having a very, very, very depressive day, and I just felt like this. And so I actually took pictures of myself like this, literally like naked pictures of me like holding myself like on a ball, with my iPad, so that I could get all of the lines right, because I knew I only wanted it to be like a contour aspect, so I needed all of those lines of the body. And so we're gonna get some more paintings. Okay, I feel like this is a good setup, so we're gonna go like this and take these ones off. Okay, so this is one of the first ones that I did, and I did this also a few weeks ago, like a week or two ago, I think. And yeah, I haven't been painting as much, doodling, drawing a little bit, but I haven't been painting as much. And something about like, I just was like, I need to paint. I felt really upset, and so this was giving me some solace. I had people in my house, so like I also couldn't have alone time because I went downstairs. I was like, I'm just gonna paint. And yeah, so part of this is because of like the water. I have this spray bottle that I will go onto it and like spray. And I also water down my pigments on purpose, because there ends up being more fluidity. I really lean towards paint because of the fluid nature of it, and so like that's not something you necessarily get with linocuts. It's a lot more structured in how you do it. And so this was something that really just kind of came as it came, and I can put things down, and as they're drying I can work with them. I mainly work with acrylics, 444 when I do these, because it helps me. Like, I have slow drying mediums for them. I don't really use those. I honestly just add water and then I will play with the wetness of it. But with a lot of it, oil doesn't dry. And so I learned a lot by taking an oil class, but it really, like, I feel like oil is really great if you want to layer multiple things and really work on realism. I feel like abstraction with oil is really hard for me because once something dries, I can then go over it and add to it, and that can be within one day. So yeah, there's that. And then there's this piece, which actually I took my cups. This is my water cup, but I took my cup from these. You can see the purple on the other side too. They're all stuck together now. And so I took all three of them, and whatever was left from this, I poured out. And I poured out in different ways. I added some gold in there really slightly. And I just really let it be whatever it was, and it dried. And as I did that, it was laying flat. So the pigments had time to spread out. And then this is what I have added to it today. And I don't know where to put this. That works for now. I feel like being an artist is also just playing Tetris constantly. Very grateful to have like actual studio space though. This feels really, really great. And like not one that it's like at the end of the semester you need to leave. Like I can actually make this home, which feels really nice. And yeah, so with this painting, I started off with this thicker brush, which is usually something that I like to do, and then go back in with the thinner brush, which I should not let it has to dry this way. Well, actually these are, they can go right there. My brush washing is very low maintenance, guys. But yeah, and so I'll go in with a thinner brush to then respond to what I did with a thicker brush. So this is some of the thicker, then these dots all were, I started over here and I really liked it, but then it kind of felt like it was a map, and I was like, if I don't spread it throughout all of that light green, it's not gonna feel cohesive. And then I got kind of overwhelmed because I was like, did I really decide I'm gonna make this many dots? And I was like, yes, you are. But then I got to go back into my squiggly line work with my little thin one that I have all these little bits of. This one's like one of my favorites. But yeah, and so that was the introduction. This was my introduction today into being like, oh yeah, I wanted to do linocuts, but I want to bring them into like a more abstract aspect. I'll show you some of my old ones first so you guys can see. So I have this girl. I love her. Ooh, these might be interesting in conjunction with each other, but we'll get to that later. But so it's like a little, she's got those little stub nubs, kind of like Among Us when you get killed. I have like this skull that I made, this little potion bottle. This says ease, but they're, well actually when I'm reading it, it looks forward, but they're backwards so that you can like write the words properly. This one says I am home, but I actually didn't do it backwards. I did it forwards on this one. So then it says emo, I guess. I don't know. With the eyeball. Trans love. This was like for a full, like a project that I did, but it's a shirt. A little, what's it called? This is a bunch of titties. Well, this is one titty, but it's also a heart. And then this is a bunch of titties. And some are big, some are small, some are cut up, some are square. This is just a bunch of titties. I obviously have a theme. And then this is one of my favorites. So I was like realizing that I didn't do this one backwards, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool if I did this. So it says life reflects art, but then reflects is also reflected here, and so it's like forward and backwards and upside down. And then the whole point is that this is like a little ornamental mirror, so then when you put it, if you put it and it's in the mirror, then it will say it properly, but if it's not, then it won't. And I thought that was really cool. Tiny titties. But yeah, so I have a bunch of these. I might want to try that one out with these, because I think that'd be pretty cool. Because she's headless, and the ones that I made today are circles, so maybe she could be a little circle head. I don't know. I did this process with 2 little circles, right? And one, I drew my idea, which it didn't end up coming out exactly like that. It still looks cool, but I drew my idea with a pen first. And when you're doing linocuts, you can have the, what is it called? You can either carve out what you drew or carve out around it, and I chose to carve around it, which I'm not sure if that was a better option or not. So we'll see. But then I was like, you know what? Like, I really wanted to do this, like, because I did how I normally make my drawings and stuff. I just did my normal, like, automatic drawing of, like, right? So I just did like something like this. These are some random sketches, but did something like this, right? And then I was like, okay, oh, now I have to carve it. And 13. So I did that, and I would say it came out pretty decent. So I can see from the print that if you see these little dots, like there's still some places on here that I probably could carve out so they'd be a little bit better. And this was just to clean it up, but to see how it is. But I think it came out pretty decently. There are little bits like I went through that line I didn't want to, and like little things like that I'm just slightly upset about. But so then I was like, I'm trying to translate 1414. I'm trying to translate like what I do by doing the medium and then carving it. I was like, why don't I try something that is actually in tune with the medium that it is? And so that's what I did with this one. So here's a better look at this one. There's kind of like a branch or thing, but this was me just sitting using the carving tool, and I used, which one did I use? So I used this one, which is a little bit wider, and then I used this one, which is the little baby tiny one. Where this one I only used the baby tiny one on because I drew such small lines. This feels more in line with the medium itself, and so it just feels more aligned. Nothing against this one, I still like it and I think it's really cool, but it's also like, I don't know, it's just really, this felt a lot more like I could lean into the intuitive sense and bring me back into the practice of carving. And so like there are these parts where there are these little ledges because I didn't like how that line came out because it's carving both sides, and so I just fixed that line a little bit. And yeah, there's like the whole like, if you like what it did, don't try and fix it. So that's what I tried not to do on certain parts. So I was like, ooh, that's a cool line, leave it. And then other ones I just like, I added a little bit more in. So I'm gonna make some cleaner prints of these and then I'm gonna show you guys. But I just wanted to document and explain like the difference in process of this. I'm trying to lean into the fact that I like to do things that are very abstract and very improvisational in general with all of my practices and all of my mediums. And so it's like me relearning how I can do that in different mediums, because before I always was trying to do what other people were doing, make art like other people. And right now I'm just trying to make art like me, because that feels a lot better, guys. It feels so good. But yeah, so, and it brings me more ease. Ba-doom-ch. Ba-doom-ch. Ooh, oh, that was, well, now it's not gonna do it because I didn't do it on purpose, but it sounded like a cymbal a little bit, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably get some clear paper, not some random sketch that was just hanging out. I might try and merge it with her. I actually was thinking about cutting her out a little bit so that she's easier to stamp anyway, so I might cut her out right here and then try and put like a little head on her. We'll see. But yeah, because I really like prints. I like also the easy reproduction aspect of them. And also I was thinking, is like, if I made these, like, I could still paint underneath them. I could make the same way that I poured this, or I could dye papers with like different pigments and things, and then put these on top, and then maybe do them multiple times in different patterns and things, and see how that comes out. And so it will bring back more of the play into the creation of it, but also make something that's very easy for me to replicate, because constantly making these is kind of a lot and not necessarily something that I would like to do. I want to just paint just to paint, and I can still sell my paintings, but I want also for vendor fairs and stuff like that, like, I don't really want to have like a whole stock of my paintings in my car and trying to package them and all, like, that's just so much. So I'd like to ideally have like a couple of originals, and then more like mid-range products that I could work with that would be a little bit easier to understand for me, and also to market necessarily, because trying to find space for that many paintings is also a lot. But yeah, so that is all for right now, and I will show you guys what I make.